All right, what's up, people? How y'all doing today? I'm starting this new series. Don't ask me where I got it from because it won't make any sense. But what I'm going to be looking at is chapter 9, verse 9. And I know there's some books that are not going to have, like, especially when you get to some of the New Testament bullshit, they're not even going to have 9 chapters, so we don't have to deal with them. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, you're gone. Titus, Timothy, all the 1st Timothy, 2nd Timothy, adios amigo. You know what I'm saying? We're only dealing with serious books. And trust me, we're going to get into some other shit. We're going to get into the Quran. Yeah, because there's a 9:9 in the Quran too. So I'm starting with the book of Hebrews. And why? 2 reasons. If you don't know me, you don't know this, but now you know it. The book of Hebrews is my favorite book of the entire fucking Bible. I think if you had to pick one book out of the entire fucking Bible, the book of Hebrews is it. I think it encapsulates Christianity the most perfectly of any book in the entire fucking Bible, including everything in Paul, including everything in so-called Moses, meaning the Pentateuch. I think Hebrews is the perfect book in the Bible, the most perfect book. You don't want to know what I say number 2 is. We're going to get to Revelation 9, verse 9, dude. We're going to get to all of it. Now, what I want to say about the book of Hebrews is you have to understand what the message of the entire text is first. So once you get that, and trust me, you'll get it. Just read it. You'll understand. It makes it perfectly clear. It's one of the most clear. Actually, I think it has the most perfect Greek of anything in the New Testament. That's why everybody wants to say it's late. But I think Hebrews is early. I think it comes from, circa, 60 AD. I think it comes before the fall of the temple. And why do I say that? I say that because it still mentions temple worship as if it's going on. But I'm not going to get into these scholarly critiques of anything. The most remarkable thing about Hebrews 9, verse 9, is that it is the least remarkable verse in that entire chapter. If you read Hebrews chapter 9 and what it's talking about, you will see that verse 9 is actually the least significant verse in that entire chapter. But what does that fucking mean? And what is the chapter even about? Well, let's talk about it, okay? Now, you have to understand that what Hebrews is trying to communicate is that there has been a change. And that Christ is the change. And that reorients the entire universe, and it reorients the entire sacrificial paradigm, if you will. And so, I mean, if I can, I'm going to read verse 9 from my favorite translation. And then I'll see if you can understand basically what this is referring to. So here's chapter 9, verse 9 of the book of Hebrews. I hope you have your Bibles out. It was symbolic for the present time in which both gifts and sacrifices are offered, which cannot make him who performed the service perfect in regard to the conscience. Okay, so there's sacrificing going on, and then somehow the sacrifice doesn't inwardly perfect somebody through the conscience. I think that's kind of what it's saying. But when you start from 9 verse 1, and then you go read through it, I'm not going to do that for you. You're going to have to do that for yourself. But when you read through, and you read through the entire thing, you're going to see that chapter 9 verse 9 is actually the least significant part of that chapter. What we're basically talking about is, okay, it goes through first the preparations. And this had to be this way, and this had to be this way. If I can just read verse 2. For a tabernacle was prepared, the first part, in which was the lampstand, the table, and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary. So he's describing, this is somebody that knows his shit. This is a Jew. This is somebody that is to the Hebrews. It never says that. That's ascribed later. The idea is this guy knows his fucking Jewish shit. So he knows what was going on. And he's describing the sacrifice, because this is the theme of Hebrews, is that there was once a sacrifice that had to be offered. The lamb had to be slaughtered every so often. And his point is the lamb was slaughtered once and for all in heaven. And, oh man, this book is so fucking awesome. If you like comic books, you'll love this book. Read it. But the point being is that basically what's being said here is that no matter what is done on the sacrificial altar, it's not going to clean the conscience. That's the point of Hebrews chapter 9, verse 9. No matter what the fuck outward shit you do, it's not going to clean your conscience. You can sacrifice all the animals and all the dead things and everything else. You're not going to get to that point where you need to be clean. Because the cleanliness, this is called the, I forget what's called, Haggadic, I forget what the fuck it's called. The holiness code, whatever. You know what I mean? There's the, what are they called? Mishnahs? I forget what they're called. Like the commandments. It's not 10. It's much more than 10 that you have to keep to be a real Jew. So these are all cleanliness oriented. So like, even the dumb ones that you would think of, like you cannot wear clothing woven of two fabrics, like polyester. You're not allowed to wear that. But why? Because it's significant, because the Jews do not intermarry. That's what it's about. I don't know if you knew that or not, but whatever. Now you know it. But no, seriously. And I'm going to be making this series is going to be great. I don't know if I want to go Genesis next. We're going to do 9 verse 9, everything. Do Quran 9:9 if you want that. You know, just throw a fucking comment down and say, hey man, I want this one. Maybe Exodus 9:9. Maybe there's one fucking like book of the Bible that when I do 9:9, it's going to make me look like a goofball. Vote for that one or put it up or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying?